Good evening and welcome to Colorado Mesa University TV News. I'm Stephen Adams. Apple is currently battling the FBI over a request to unlock an iPhone that belonged to one of the suspects in the San Bernardino shooting that killed 14 earlier this year. The FBI has asked Apple to create a program that will allow them to bypass the passcode on the phone without completely resetting it. Apple said in a public letter to its customers, quote, "The United States government has demanded that Apple take an unprecedented step which threatens the security of our customers. We oppose this order, which has implications far beyond the legal case at hand." The U.S. presidential race has been further narrowed down. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush has dropped out of the race, leaving businessman Donald Trump, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, Ohio Governor John Kasich, and Dr. Ben Carson still fighting for the Republican nomination. Donald Trump has a commanding lead in the Republican race, now having won 3 of the 4 caucuses and primaries held this year. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders have been neck and neck every step of the way. Only Bernie has come away with a commanding lead in any state, winning New Hampshire by double-digit percentage points. The races in Iowa were even decided in some districts by a coin flip. In Nevada, they had a plan in place for one Bernie supporter and one Hillary supporter to each pick a card in true Nevada fashion, and the highest card would receive that district's vote in the event of a tie. Mesa County has lost a true hero, as Deputy Derek Geer of the Mesa County Sheriff's Department passed away on February 8th after being shot in the line of duty. Deputy Geer was shot by 17-year-old Austin Holzer, who is being charged as an adult for first-degree murder of a peace officer. Deputy Geer was responding to a call of someone walking around a public area with a gun, and when Geer reached the scene, Holzer said that he wanted to kill himself, according to Holzer's own claims. Deputy Geer wouldn't allow that, and so Holzer shot Geer instead. Deputy Geer continues to sacrifice himself for the benefit of others even after death, as he was an organ donor and was kept on life support in order to donate his organs. Thousands of community members and law enforcement from around the state came to honor Deputy Geer at his funeral, and even more have taken to putting a blue stripe on their windshield in his honor. Deputy Geer is survived by his wife and 2 children. 6 people were killed this past weekend in Kalamazoo, Michigan by an Uber driver with no apparent motive. Jason Dalton, the 45-year-old, who was described by his neighbors as a family man and gun lover, drove around the town of Kalamazoo, killing a 17-year-old and his father shopping for a car and 4 women out for a meal at a Cracker Barrel. The suspect has been charged with 6 counts of murder and has been ruled to have no mental health issues. His motive is still being investigated. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia has passed away at 79 years old. He was said to suffer from obesity and diabetes and was found dead at a ranch in Texas where he had gone on a hunting trip. Scalia was one of the more conservative members of the Supreme Court, and his death has left Republicans worried. The Senate Republicans have all signed a letter claiming that they will not hold a hearing for any Supreme Court nominee presented by President Obama, and that they wish to wait until the next president is in office. This has never happened in the history of the Supreme Court, and in fact, 14 Supreme Court justices have been appointed in an election year. President Obama has said that he will go forward in choosing a nominee to replace Justice Scalia, regardless of a blockade by the Senate Republicans. The United Kingdom will vote in June on whether or not it wants to continue to be a part of the European Union. Prime Minister David Cameron has advocated for them to remain in the European Union, but many Brits want more independence. We'll see what happens later this year. That's all for news this week. Now over to Carly Hanley with Take 5 with Foster.
Good evening and welcome to Take 5 with Foster. I'm Carly Hanley here with President of CMU, Tim Foster. And today we are going to talk about upcoming events for this semester and kind of our goals. So, President Foster,
Carly,
what are your goals for students this semester?
You know, that's an intriguing question. Certainly, I think our job, our goal is for students to retain, learn, graduate, you know, and really pick a major that they love. And we talk with parents about making sure that their student is picking something they really enjoy. Because if you pick something you don't enjoy, then you don't do well at it, and it's not where you want to go. And then we want to make sure that you all as students get opportunities to have experience in your field so that you get a chance to determine before you graduate that it's really something you want to spend the rest of your life doing. So you want to make sure that whatever you're going to do, you have a passion for it. Because at the end of the day, it is work. And if you at least love what you do, then part of the time you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. The rest of the time, it's still work.
Good.
Right?
And do you have any goals for faculty for just this semester?
You know, I would say for our faculty, they are here because they love our mission. They embrace our mission. They embrace that mission of, teacher scholars being very outstanding in their fields and loving to teach and work with undergraduate students and give you all opportunities that you would not get on a larger campus. And so I think the goal is for them to just really enjoy doing that, because as they kind of the same lesson lecture from the student goal is, if they're really enjoying it, then they impart that passion to students, and students enjoy their classes, right?
Okay, yeah. And because it's spring semester and we're going to have incoming freshmen here next semester, what is one thing about CMU that you want incoming freshmen to be excited about and kind of notice when they're walking around campus or looking at schools, any of those things? What's one thing that you want to isolate?
I think it would be a pretty broad thing, but it would be that our students are very connected to one another, and they take time to say hello to each other and be friendly with each other and work with each other. And, people always comment to me when they come on campus, they really love coming on campus because, students talk to them, greet them, are friendly with them. And I think that's true student to student as well. And so I think it is part of that sort of small campus feel where it isn't, this faceless, nameless blob of humanity. It really is that, you all as students treat each other the same way you treat other visitors, which is taking time to treat them like people. And I think students feel that is why they come here. I had a note from a student just yesterday. I met at a Rotary presentation in Montrose last year, and she was going to CU Boulder, and we had a long discussion about the contrast between big campus, small campus. And as we left, I said, that's fine. If you go to Boulder and find out that you are just a number in the crowd and really want to come get what we just described, feel free to transfer back. So she sent me a letter and said, you know what, you're right. I'm coming to CMU in the fall. And so, that's the rewarding thing, as people understand the differences. And sometimes they have to experience that by being here. Sometimes they have to experience it by being somewhere else.
So do you have any ideas of how we could maybe emphasize that for when they're at orientation or on tours? Is there a way to
I don't think you have to. I think it's endemic. I think it's natural. I think it's cultural. I think it's built into the kind of students that we attract and the kind of institution we are. We get a lot of conversations with folks about, geez, how are you all as an institution successful, and why are you growing, and those sorts of things. And my comment to them and to you is, we have an intense commonality of purpose, and everybody on this campus embraces that mission, and they are people who are built that way, and they love what they, Aparna Palmer, Dan Flanagan, Greg Mikolai, they love what they do, and they love interacting with students. And so it just, you see campuses, and I've been on enough of them, where they have to literally hire a company, oftentimes a Disney company, to come in and say, let's get everybody on the same page and let's reinforce who we are. And they give out little squeezy balls and little buttons and with funny little slogans. And we don't have to do that. And I think our students are cut from the same cloth.
Do you think that that is because those professors have been in the real world before they were teachers, so they don't have that teacher mentality of taking attendance and grades? They more just want to teach the students. Do you think that kind of has?
I think it's a mix. We have some who are straight up out of academia. You have some who are out of industry, and I don't think it's what path they took to get here. I think it is just the nature of the person who comes here, looks into us, examines what kind of place we are, listens to us as we interview them and make decisions to hire, and they make decisions to come. When you're hiring somebody, it's a two-way street. They're interviewing for a job, but they're also interviewing us to say, is this a place I want to spend a lot of my time and my career? And so I think it's just that we are very clear with who we are, what we are, and we get people who share that passion. And so, and if they don't, then they don't like it here and they leave, or, generally they just find someplace else, yeah.
Right. So coming back full circle, back to the goals, do you have any advice for students or faculty of how they can maybe achieve those goals?
I would say to students, and I teach a class every semester, and it is the reality that it does take 4 hours for every hour you're in class. And one of the things we've tried to do with our classrooms and with faculty and those sorts of things, and I encourage the students in the class I take, after class, take 15 minutes and go through your notes. You have proximity to your professor. If you have a question, that's right. And then do the same thing right before class. You know, most faculty start their classes, hey, any questions from last class? You know, so there's your opportunity just to go ahead and spend that time. In between classes, you know, you're going to do your reading and your studying and those sorts of things, but right before and after, and faculty are readily available and happy to engage with students on those sorts of things.
As a teacher yourself, do you kind of find yourself being, for lack of a better word, I don't know how to explain this, do you find yourself not having enough time for students, or do you still have office hours and kind of make time for them as for your own class?
I still have office hours and make time, and you know, email. I haven't given them my cell number yet, but otherwise I'd be getting just inundated with text. But students are very comfortable communicating, I think as comfortable communicating digitally as they do. In my day and age, you would have wanted to go ahead and sit down across from the professor and talk to them, but you all just shoot questions across and expect real-time answers.
Right. Well, good. Well, thank you for coming into the studio, and make it a great week, Mavericks.